Hey y'all, hey, so it's your girl Mel B, the master of motivation. I woke up this morning and literally went into my prayer closet. And when I went into my prayer closet, I heard the Lord say underlying issues, and I prayed about a certain issue that I'm deeply concerned about when it comes to me. I'm working on me, and when I say I'm deeply concerned about something, it's because of where I am when it comes to God and the things that I really want to change that may not be known publicly, but I know them internally. And there are a lot of things that we deal with internally that we don't let anybody know about. And a lot of us were raised to what goes on in this house stays in this house. But the underlying issue was something that I really, really was like, God, that right there is deep. So I taught on it on the prayer call. And as I was explaining some things to everybody on the prayer call, it made them think about themselves. What are your underlying issues? When we go to the doctor and they ask us at the hospital, when we go to the emergency room or the doctor's office and they say, how long have you been dealing with this issue? Many of us will lie, well, I don't know, maybe a week or so, especially if you've been dealing with it for a long time and you took the time not to go to the doctor. Many of us have to recognize what our underlying issues are. A lot of us will join more prayer groups, do more devotionals, think we praying ourselves to the walls fall off. But at the end of the day, have you ever recognized why you are like you are? A lot of us were raped growing up. A lot of us were dealing with things with our childhood, our mamas and daddies. We don't recognize how deep it is on how the generational curses have continued on with our own children. Many of us don't recognize how our moms and dads really have us with underlying issues because of who they are. We don't want to disrespect them, and we don't honestly want to tell the truth. But the residue and the fact of the matter is calling a thing is real. Many of us are dealing with issues, underlying issues that we've never dealt with before. When I was reading, it says, many believers treat symptoms without diagnosing the disease. And that's us. We're trying to fix stuff that we have never figured out why I'm like this. What is the reason that I date like I date? Why am I eating like I'm eating? Why am I drinking like I'm drinking? Because we need to figure out why, what caused us to get to this point. And a lot of us have been dealing with things that has gotten cancerous in our lives. We've never recognized it or wanted to admit it because we see fault in everybody else. Why am I a flight risk? Why do I cut everybody off? Why can't I keep friends? I told them on a prayer call, there was a young lady who needed some rental help. And at the end of the day, once she got the rental help, she left the prayer call. And we had a discussion later on, and she kept it so real with me. It was more real than I really needed. She said, listen, once you all helped me, you were another victim. I was moving on to the next victim to get more money and more help from. But at the end of the day, y'all, the money is not going to fix it. The actual situation, the underlying issue is that she manipulates and she uses. So therefore, there's not enough money to fix it. And every time she moves, she's going to have an issue because the underlying issue is the fact that she has to have some financial stability. She has to learn her finances. She has to be a better person, a better steward of her money. And so why are we like we are? What are we ignoring right now in our lives that we really need to work on? Because we got some issues that are underlying that if we fix those, things will be changed. I told them that there's a tree growing outside of my house. And I actually last year, me and the boys went outside and we pulled the roots up ourselves and we fixed our flower beds ourselves, me for the first time. And it was tiring. When I say I was exhausted when I finished, it was a lot of work. And that's why now I keep ignoring the fact that it needs to be done right now because it was a lot of work. And that's what we got to realize. Until we pull the weeds, until we pull the roots up, then it's going to still be a mess. Things are going to continue to grow in us. So the question for today is what is your underlying issue? What are you dealing with internally? What went on in your childhood that has you now in your adulthood? Now your boy, girl self, now in your woman, man self. Now you got issues that you didn't even recognize. I've been dealing with this underlying issue, ignoring it for so long that I didn't even recognize that it was doing what it's doing to me and other people. And most of the time, the underlying issues don't just affect you. They affect the people who love you, the people who want to be a part of your life. Do you know how many people lack communication? We don't like to have tough conversations because that's the issue that we have to face. So when we ignore it, when we act like it didn't happen, when we play the blame game, then that allows us to continue to fester in the mess that we've been in for so long. So the question for today is, what is your underlying issue? And when you can get to the point where you go to God and say, God, reveal to me my underlying issue, imagine the remainder of your life without the underlying issues. Without the depression, you're depressed. Why? What's the underlying issue? You can't keep money every month. You having to borrow money every single month to pay your bills. What's the underlying issue? Every time somebody come into your life who want to treat you good, you always push them away. Is it abandonment? What's the underlying issue? Where you've gone through so many people in relationships. What's the real underlying issue? Did we see things growing up that were unhealthy and now it has us unhealthy? Was it something that your parents kept from you? You found out later, now you're angry about it, and now you treat everybody like that situation was because of them. What is the real underlying issue? You block everybody. You want to be isolated. Why? What is the underlying issue? You keep getting in trouble. It was a group of kids who said a man picked them up, took them to breakfast, loved on them, and they said they had been getting in trouble, but this man gave them some love and they hadn't had it before. And because they received that love, it changed their dynamic. It changed the direction, because now what they lacked, they ended up getting, all through somebody caring enough to fix the underlying issue that most of the time we don't want to discuss. It is your girl, Mel B. Have a wonderful day. And remember, today's assignment is to fix the underlying issue.